I was at a board meeting earlier this year, and during the question and answer time between the auditor and the board without management in the room, I was asked the following question. Did you perform an audit, or did you just give us the numbers given to you? Now, I chuckled because I was caught off guard, but I recovered and answered that we had indeed performed an audit in accordance with relevant accounting and auditing standards, and I gave a brief tutorial of what auditing is, along with a couple of examples of testing. Later though, I got to thinking, at least someone asked something, and I began to wonder how many board members would want to know what questions to ask their auditor. During an audit, there are required communications that happen between the auditor and the governing board of directors. The first appropriate time for questions is at the beginning of the audit in the planning stages. In this planning stage, it would be appropriate to ask the auditor the following questions. If the audit firm is new, you could ask how they are going to deal with the prior year auditor and how they can help make that transition smooth. What are the major accounting changes that could affect the audit this year? What is the scope of your audit, and how much reliance can that scope provide that you will detect errors, frauds, or problems with internal controls or illegal acts? In what ways and where do you think our staff could help reduce your time? Does your control assessment of our company enable you to reduce substantive testing? How do you determine materiality, and what is it? How does your audit plan for this year differ from last year to ensure unpredictability to management? Do you anticipate any independence issues? And how do you determine if you are independent? Throughout the audit, you may want to follow up on these questions, but typically there is another audit meeting which is at the end of the audit during the finalization stage. During this audit meeting, it would be appropriate to ask the following questions. Did you run into any circumstances that caused you to change your audit plan in any audit area? Did management give you everything you requested? Were there any areas in the control environment that caused significant alarm? Was there any identified fraud, error, illegal acts, and were there any significant control deficiencies or material weaknesses noted in the control system? What type of opinion are you giving, and why? If any disagreements happened between you and management, how were they resolved? Were any adjustments that you proposed not made? Are there any matters remaining? As far as accounting principles, were there any that changed, and are our policies in line with best practices? Were there any unusual or significant items that we need to be made more aware of? How is your perception of management's attitude toward internal controls? As far as the fee goes, what percentage is our fee in relation to the total fees earned by your firm? What could we do to lower your time and the audit fee next year? How did the audit fee compare to the estimated total? Is there anything else that should be discussed with us? You may be putting your auditors on the spot with questions like these, but any quality auditor should be able to answer these questions. Also, you will have a good understanding of the audit process and the findings. This is an excellent way to maintain your fiscal responsibility and oversight of the audit.